welcome back to the Backyard Woodshop. I'm Tom Ryder. Hey, do you have an Incra fence like me and you're tired of having all your templates in this little bag, and then when you need, say, template 15 to do a dovetail or something, you're spending 10-15 minutes sorting through these things to get the right template? I tell you, I'm just sick of that. I'm tired of it, and I started looking on the web and to find a template organizer. Well, I also looked on YouTube, and I didn't really see anybody sharing a template organizer, so that's why I'm making this video. I've seen pictures on the web, and their website talks about all the different measurements and things you need to make this, and I was just like, are you kidding me here? We've got Incra fences with Incra templates. Incra's already thought of this stuff, how to evenly space grooves and all that without having to do a bunch of measuring and math. Now, if you really like math, go ahead and break it down. Like, I'm doing 9/16 on centers, but I don't really need to worry about it because Incra's already done the math for me. But if you want to sit there and do all the measurements for every 9/16 and read them on the ruler, go ahead. By the time you're done, your eyes will be crossed. Now, if you want to find out how to do it, I'm going to show you today, so stay tuned. Alright, so first thing we need to do is know how big our board's going to be, how long. So I went ahead and did all that. Basically, we're going to get 13 grooves on one side, 13 grooves on the other. We're going to have a center divider. So that'll give us 26 slots. And we're going to make two boards. That'll handle 52 slots, which we've only got 51, so that gives me an extra slot in case I want to put a slide of tape measure or something for safekeeping. So that makes this 16 inches wide, and then the length will be 17. I went ahead and left my board because I need two of them. I went ahead and left it together because that way we can just rip all the grooves at one time. You can cut it and do it if you don't feel like your table has the capacity for the length, but I've got a really big router table, and you'll see that. So there's no issue with having a long board like this. Plenty of outfeed support. Next thing you're going to need is a piece of plexiglass. I've got a couple of pieces here. So just set those down, and you'll have everything you need for that. You just cut this to length and width. And then you just need to know how far apart to put the grooves. The great thing is Incra provides a template for making cutting boards or just slots that are evenly spaced. We're going to be choosing the 9/16 template because that's with using a 1/2 inch bit. We're going to be spacing it out, and that'll leave us a 16th in between. It's like having 9/16 on center. I've seen a lot of different ways to do this. Incra makes it so easy. One of the great things about the Incra fence is that on my outfeed table here, I've got these bolts popped up. I can slide my fence on and off as I need it and use this as an outfeed table or a great big router table. So all I do is register the back even, tighten up my knobs, and that fence is just like it was permanently attached. So I tighten all four of these up. There we go. And now that thing is rock solid. Slide it forward. I'm ready to route. Next, we want to set our cutter to about a 1/16 of an inch. That should be good. And the first thing we're going to want to do is we want to set 0 to start. Now that's the beauty of the Incra fence, because you can slide the scales and turn the micro adjusts and everything to get 0. You know you're always going to be set accurately. So how I want to do this is I want to set it to the inside of the bit. I want that to be 0 so that when I set it to 7/16 for my first cut, it will leave 7/16 of material here and then start the groove. And then from then on, then we can do the 9/16 on center from that point on. But what's really nice is I'll make one cut, turn it around, get the other cut, and because of how good the incremental system is, it should be all the way to the end. Or you can just make each cut in succession all the way to the end and go that way too. So all we're going to do is slide it up close, and then we're going to put our lock in the half position so that we can engage the lead screw and start advancing it. And you're just looking till you don't see any light between your fence and the bit. And that's it. So I'm just doing this a little bit slower so you can see, but normally this stuff just happens really quick. Then you lock it down, and then you're going to start taking and moving all your scales to 0. Alright, so the next thing you're going to want to do is take a paper towel, some paste wax, and just put it onto your grooves after you've sanded them, and it'll help seal it up. And the other benefit is it will let the Lexan slide just a little bit easier in the organizer. Next step we're going to want to do is rip down our board, cut it in half basically, and we should be all set. If you follow along and do it the same way I do, you're going to end up with 2 identical boards, 16 inches wide by 17 long. The next piece you're going to want to do is you're going to cut your plexiglass to 16 by 16 if you're following along with the way I am. The best way is, that I've found, is the table saw, nice and slow. Well, as you can see, it holds the templates really nice. I've got them all organized here just as a test. And then we're going to set our piece of plexiglass on there. It still lets us see everything, but really the important part is these front numbers. That's what's the most important. But I kind of like the plexiglass look. This kind of like duplicating the one on the internet. You can glue it, screw it, however you want to hold the plexiglass down. I'm probably just going to shoot some small screws in. Be quick, and then if I need to remove it, that makes it easy. What I'm going to do is take a countersink before I shoot the screw in. And just make a countersink hole. So one of the other things you want to do is you want to take a small bit and pre-drill out. And then what I'm using are some number 4 by 1/2 inch little wood screws. These are countersinks. And then the other thing you want to do is you don't really want to use a power drill to put these in. You want to put them in by hand, because if you go too much with a power drill or driver, you'll crack your plexiglass. Got everything organized. I've got on the top here, I got 1 through 26, and then 27 through 50. And then the 51st template is just one of the scales. So also I went ahead and on the bottom I put a couple pieces of thin strip of plexiglass to keep the templates from wanting to fall out the bottom in any way. Just a little extra insurance. And then to help with just having a look at them, I just went ahead and put a couple hinges I had on. Where I'm going to keep my organizer is in this second drawer. It's right across from the router table, and I just went ahead and mounted a board in my drawer just to keep this up at an angle, which is really helpful. I threw my book to the back of it, makes it nice, easy to get a hold of. Most of the time you're going to reach in and get that book anyway. Then if I want to I pick a template. They're all elevated, so they're easy to get in and out really fast. I really like that. But if I want, I can pick the whole thing up, set it down on the bench, look at all the templates, see which one I want if I want to go that way with it. So it keeps it versatile, and if I ever change my mind, I can move it somewhere. And once I pick my template, close the drawer, I'm ready to route. So that's going to wrap it up for this video on the Incra template organizer. I really appreciate you watching. If you would, hit that subscribe button if you're new to my channel. If you would, hit the like button as well. If you have any questions, you can send them to me through the comments section, or you can email me at BackYardWoodShop@gmail.com. I always try to get to you within 24 hours or less. So, appreciate you watching, and remember, until the next time, I see you in the backyard.